Over the past year on Restorish, I have received a number of comments about something that I don't do, but is seen as kind of the gold standard of the restoration community. And of course, I'm talking about retrobrighting. To this point, for me at least, the potential cons have outweighed the pros, and I haven't engaged in the process. But that changes today. This last winter, I came across a video by another content creator called Macho Nacho, who was experimenting with a new method of retrobrighting that was found, and as I watched his video, I thought, you know, I might actually try this one. So we are going to take this very yellow NES and try it out.
Obviously, before we get started, we need to test it to see if this particular console is working. So we're just getting a blue screen here. Let's try resetting the game. And now it is working. The console actually had a sticker on it that had one word that said temperamental. So I'm guessing that that meant that it would work some of the time and not work some of the time. I'm hoping maybe that by cleaning it, we will get it to work more consistently. So we know what we are working with here. Let's get to the project. This original NES is accessed on the inside by 6 Phillips screws that we can get with this driver that fits down inside of these slots. We'll just pull the top right off here. These are interesting little screws here. They aren't exactly for a flathead screwdriver. They have a little divot in the middle of them, but it will work. One thing we're getting a really good look at here as we disassemble this top of the shell is the difference between the original light gray color of the plastic and the yellow that it has become. And that is what we are trying to remedy today with our retrobrighting experiment. I want to note that these 2 silver screws are different than the other 4. We should be able to get this cartridge holder / reader mechanism away from here by just sliding it off of the board toward us. There we go. There are 3 cables that are attached to this motherboard, so we'll just turn it over here and we can work gently and carefully to loose and remove these. I do have a little bit of trouble getting these to come loose without grabbing some form of tool here to just be able to gently pry at the side and the base there. There we go. Although these are interchangeable, I want to make sure to get them back in the correct spot so that I have the length of cord that I need to plug them in. I don't think this controller came with this particular Nintendo, but it is also pretty yellowed, so we're going to do it at the same time just to give us some more parts to experiment with. While the console is the most yellowed device that we have around here, it is pretty extreme, so I wanted to also do something that is a little bit more of a normal yellowing. Let's just get right to scrubbing these parts. They're not really in need of soaking. It's not that dirty. It's mostly, again, the chemical reaction that's happening inside of the plastic causing it to yellow, not something on the surface. Still, we are going to just clean them before doing our hydrogen peroxide UV light treatment. Hey, get back here. Some of these little plastic buttons and pieces, when they're soaped up, are a little hard to hold on to while scrubbing. Come on. There is some gunk built up down in these slots, so I'm going to move to a little bit of a stiffer bristle in order to try to clean that out. We do have some sort of a stain stuck on here. Alright, we will rinse this off and dry it, set it aside. I'm not sure what this sticker with numbers on it was here for, but it is definitely aftermarket, and we're just going to remove it. There is a little adhesive left behind here though, so I'm going to use my cotton swab and a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on it to help loosen and remove that. Anything hiding in here? Or did we get it all? I think that is it. The motherboard is in really clean shape here, so the first thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of air on it. I've received comments before asking me what the brand of little vacuum I'm using. Unfortunately, this is just displacing the air into my workspace. This is basically a small reusable electronic version of a can of air with a little brush tip on the end that helps me loosen stuff up. Like most of the stuff I use, I'll leave a link in the video description if you're interested in finding one of these for yourself using our Amazon affiliate link. There are a few spots here that my air duster did not remove the film of dust that was set on there, so we will use a little bit of IPA and our cotton swabs. I'm going to use my dental pick just a little bit here for a couple of these rust spots and then kind of wipe over them to hopefully stop that rust growth. Obviously, I want to clean inside of these pins here to give them good contact, as well as putting some deoxit on them, which hopefully just makes them have a better solid connection to the game cartridge when it's inserted. Our power switch and ports are the last things that we just need to take care of here, and then we can move on to the main feature of this video, our retrobright experiment. Before we get started, I just want to highlight my safety equipment, obviously being these gloves and goggles. This is a very aggressive, highly concentrated form of hydrogen peroxide that can burn your skin or eyes. We are not going to be diluting it. We are going to take it and pour about 2/3 of this bottle into the lid of a sealable clear plastic container that can trap the vapor inside of this as we make our little containment area here upside down, making a greenhouse essentially. And then we're going to take another container upside down here just to give us a raised platform to set the parts on that we want to treat. Once we have this stuff laid out here comfortably, we are going to carefully put the bottom part of this container on top here and seal it. This is going to give us what we need for the experiment. I've come back after a couple of hours here now, and we are seeing some moisture build up on the inside. That is telling us that that hydrogen peroxide is vaporizing, and that gas is actually what's going to help us, along with the UV light from the sun, create the effect that we need. But I am not confident that the job is done, so we are going to get a good night's sleep and come back to the same exact thing tomorrow. Another 2 full days in the sun actually, and I am finally happy with the results. So I'm going to take this back to my shop, get it all reassembled, and see what it looks like in the same lighting as the original. I'm going to wipe off a little bit of the drips from condensation that created water spots on here. This cartridge loader slides on here a lot easier if you don't attach the board down first, so you can lift it up a little bit in the front. I hope the before and after did something to impress upon you how much of a difference this actually made. I didn't adjust my lighting or do anything different inside of my studio when I filmed the before and after shots. The only condition that changed is the color of the plastic. I do want to apologize again from a production point of view for the lines on the screen during this test. I need to refigure out the balance on my camera settings for filming in this way.
Obviously, I'm super happy with how this turned out in the end. We're just going to keep an eye on this over the coming years and find out how long it takes to regress back to that yellow, if it does. In the meantime, I'm excited because I know I have a method of retrobrighting that I feel good using and will use in the future. Just to wrap things up here today, I want to draw attention to the new design on the shirt that I am wearing. If you're interested in one of these t-shirts, they actually can be purchased through the Tronics Fix website, which we will leave a link for in the description, so be sure to check that out. And they are available in a variety of colors, not just pink. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of my other videos by clicking on the link down in the box here. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and we'll see you next time.